to discuss the possible reduction of American troops in Europe. He returned to the issue of Orlando. I would like to know if during these minutes we have been the subject of a discussion, and if you feel like ruling out a reduction of American troops by 2026.
Look, what I can tell you is that no, these two topics were not the subject of our discussion today, which I have to say was a very positive meeting. A bit tentative, but it was a positive and constructive atmosphere of unity, and therefore these issues were not discussed. Regarding the American troops, it was current, and we were not informed, no formal disengagement, after which you know that within NATO there is discussion of burden shifting, that is, how the European allies, the European column of NATO, should take on more responsibility within the territory European, to allow the American column to deploy in other areas that are now considered priorities. The presence of some heads of state and government from the Indo-Pacific region somewhat illustrates how the alliance tries, let's say, to adapt to the new scenarios and new responsibilities. So I don't rule anything out. Clearly, I don't rule anything out, and I believe that. Let's say it shouldn't be a scenario that catches us off guard, because you know better than I do that the United States has been discussing, under several presidents, the need for a gradual disengagement from Europe, which is not a political disengagement. Disengagement to allow the alliance to be more present in different areas. And as I have told you on many occasions, I also consider this an opportunity for Europe to take greater control of its own affairs. Look, I am obviously very concerned about what is happening in Iran, I think you understand, by ourselves because, and we cannot rule out that this might also spread to the other areas of this delicate region. After that, we are trying to work towards the diametrically opposite direction. That is, I do not lose hope in the possibility of a negotiation in Iran. I believe that so far, let's say, the military option in this case has not brought such concrete results, and I think we must insist on the ability and possibility of a negotiation, and Italy will obviously be committed in this regard. Clearly, negotiations, direct talks between Israel and Lebanon are a fundamental part of this Middle Eastern security architecture. And I think it is great news if it is confirmed that the next round of negotiations will indeed be held in Rome. In the meantime, I consider it great news that the negotiations are progressing.
Good evening, Mr. President. Today, Donald Trump said this morning that Italy has been terrible in the use of the bases. So I asked you, if tonight the American government were to ask you again to land a plane at Simonella, an Italian base, that would then participate in kinetic operations in Iran, would you say no again? Would the government say no again? And then a brief comment on the words of Secretary Rutte, who said, regarding the American attack in Iran last night, that it was necessary. A light attack was needed. Do you agree with these words?
I was not at the negotiating table, so I cannot tell you what the right answer to your second question is, because I do not know how much room there really was to proceed with negotiations and how much there wasn't. I can say with certainty that I am therefore unable to answer you on this. As far as the bases are concerned, it is not that we made decisions or choices in such a way, one day doing one thing and another day doing something else. We have had a very clear line from the beginning of the conflict in Iran, and we maintain that line. We have respected our commitments, as serious nations always do, but after that, we said that we would not participate in attacks on Iran, and we are not participating in attacks on Iran, and we will not participate in attacks on Iran.